Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Get out of here.
The left is really going to make me defend Nick Fuentes. I may not agree with what he says, but I'll defend his right to say it. A philosopher said something like that one time. I believe his name was Voltaire. Like, I think some of the stuff that Nick Fuentes says is really, really effed up, racist, sexist, but I think he still should have the right to say it. As crazy as that sounds. Today we're getting into Nick Fuentes getting arrested, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents on it. Real quick, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe, help me out with the algorithm. Come on now. And if you have any critiques, I'm willing to take them. I'm trying to get better. So the person that Nick Fuentes pepper sprayed was part of the tolerant left. She's an activist. And y'all know my opinion about these activists. They act like they're good people, but they're actually shady. They may say they're doing stuff for a noble cause, but they're very, very hateful. Like, just look at this clip right quick.
You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. It's horrifying. I'm so sorry.
Am I, when I say, do I wish someone dead, is that advocating for them to be killed? No, of course not. But am I going to shed tears? Of course, people are going to get a little carried away and celebrate, but they're celebrating because it feels like a victory.
People say that Taylor Lorenz is a journalist, but to me, she just seems like one of these crazy activists that is very hateful and willing to do evil when it try to benefit them or when they think they're fighting for a good cause. But let you try to flip it on them or do something to them, oh, then the world is ending. So Marla Rose, the activist that Nick Fuentes pepper sprays, this is her GoFundMe. And I'm like, you went to his house for what reason? Because he said, what, your body, my choice forever? And I'm like, just because someone says something that you disagree with does not give you the right to go to their house. Like, this is how we end up like the UK, where people could get arrested for saying mean things on the internet or something somebody doesn't like.
Nuns.
Sorry?
Nuns.
Whoa, what did you just call me?
Nuns.
Oh, sorry, can I have this lady arrested? She just called me a I've got it on video. Can you arrest her? A public order just called me a pedophile. You just called me a nuns. Sorry, can you take her away? Sorry, can you take her? You can't call people that. You cannot call people that. You can't call people that. Yeah, you can't call people that. No. Yeah, I've got it on video. Yeah.
And all the option out.
Sure, no problem. I'm happy.
Let's just get this sorted out.
Happy to provide everything.
Is he doing other stuff at the moment? You can see.
No, I totally understand. No. But I've got it on video, her saying it right to my face, so it's a public order offense. I hope she gets arrested.
If someone says something bad about you in America, we got laws against defamation. But for a police to just arrest you because you said something mean or effed up towards someone, I think is going a little too far in my personal opinion. So this is the type of stuff that the left wants. Someone say something like your body, my choice forever, or any other mean word, something. Because a lot of people, even black people, will say stuff that could be considered racist, mean, or whatever.
Then go back to your fucking country. Why are you talking about this stuff? Go back to your fucking country. Go back to your country.
Black people could say something racist or offensive and no one will bat an eye, no one cares. But if a white person or Nick Fuentes says it, then y'all want to get up in arms. Black people in Chicago. Chicago is one of the blackest cities in America. And they're talking about, oh, the illegals are replacing them. And no one says anything about them saying the illegals are talking about replacement theory. But if a white person says that they're replacing Americans, then they're called racist and white supremacists when they said they're replacing Americans. So it's not happening to you now. But let's say one day you're the one that's saying something mean, and then they want to come arrest you. Then you're gonna be like, oh wait, that's kind of effed up. They should arrest me. I'm a normal person. I'm not over here saying crazy stuff like, oh, Nick Fuentes. But let's say they say, oh yeah, the N-word, no matter who says it, is bad. A lot of black people gonna be going to jail now. Like, I'm not saying I agree with the stuff Nick Fuentes does or say, but like, when we having like that daggone assault on our free speech and stuff like that, and people's right to defend themselves, or people's right to say something and not have someone come to their house, like anyone who studies like security and stuff like that, you know, when someone comes to your house or try to come just ring the doorbell, they're casing the joint.
I'll give you a really good example. It's always kind of a funny thing. People will go up to ring doors. They'll like press the ring door and someone will be like, oh, hey, hello. And that person's like, oh, hey, I'm trying to do this thing right now. Like I'm trying to sell like cookies or whatever, right? I'm trying to sell this product. And they go, oh, well, I'm not home right now. And they go, okay, no problem. And then the secondary part of that team goes in and breaks into the back door because they now know you're not home. So
this is Pirate Software, a cybersecurity expert, and he just went over how someone simply ringing your doorbell is just testing your system, testing what you're gonna do, or it's trying to just see where you're at and how could they break into your house. And when you're someone like Nick Fuentes, who people really hate, they could be breaking your house to wait for you to come back and do something nefarious to you. I'm just saying, like, yo, he's an effed up person, but like, come on now, like, just that simple thing is an issue right there. Her just ringing the doorbell. Like, my thing is, Nick Fuentes, he shouldn't be living somewhere like that. He shouldn't be living in a blue city or blue state at all, especially if he want to be able to defend himself. Because some of these blue places would say that, oh, you got to retreat no matter what. Even if you're in your house, you got to retreat. Retreat to where? Find a place, go outside.
The Minnesota Supreme Court has just dropped a bombshell opinion that greatly changes your obligations during a self-defense encounter. Now, all of you are probably familiar with the duty to retreat in Minnesota, that prior to using deadly force, you must have evaluated and utilized any reasonable methods of retreat from the encounter. What today's opinion does, it says now, prior to using a weapon, so prior to even presenting a weapon in self-defense, you must use and utilize any reasonable means of retreat.
Guys, I want to address some misconceptions as it pertains to self-defense laws in the state of Illinois. Dan McDermott here, McDermott Law Group, not your typical attorneys, guys. Certain states have what's called a duty retreat law. I've covered this in other videos. Duty retreat basically means that before you act in self-defense, you have an affirmative obligation to get the heck out of there if in fact you're capable of doing so. Many people believe this applies to Illinois. It does not. We do not have a duty retreat law. The reason people believe we have one is because many prosecutors are going to argue, hey, instead of defending himself the way he or she did, they could have retreated. They could have gotten out of there before shooting this person, for example.
I don't know the laws in Chicago, Illinois, or Minnesota like that, but I feel like if he actually gets prosecuted, the judge, or not the judge, but the prosecutor is going to try to say something similar to what that lawyer just said, where he said, oh, he should have went somewhere. I'm like, and that's what I'm trying to say. I might not got the right thing right. I mean, he probably does have some limited form of self-defense. I'm pretty like the castle doctrine, but let's see what he says.
Despite this argument, we don't have any duty retreat law. Next, stand your ground law. Many people believe that Illinois does not have stand your ground law. That's because Illinois has not formally adopted stand your ground laws. However, when you do not have a duty retreat and you stand there in a place where you're legally entitled to be and you're being attacked by an individual and you reasonably believe that this person is that you're about to receive great bodily harm or death as a result of this attack, you can in fact stand your ground and use lethal force to defend yourself. Hopefully this is helpful. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so he probably has some form of stand your ground, or that going castle doctor. He is in his home house. I know it's there's Supreme Court cases where if you're in the curtilage, the entranceway to someone's house, that you could be there because it's an access it's an invitation for people to knock. But I feel like certain people shouldn't come to your house, and they know better. Like if someone's like an activist that's after certain groups of people that's trying to do something to mess with you, they shouldn't be able to just come to your house and they're just trying to do something like nefarious. Because I feel like she probably started recording. She probably did something beforehand, and then she started recording when she wanted to knock on his door, and he thought something was up, and that's why he acted the way he acted. But let me get back to the other part where I was talking about. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, that's why I like to live in a red state where you could just, hey, yo, castle doctrine. He got what was coming to them. Like, he shouldn't be living somewhere where someone could just walk up on his doorstep from the sidewalk. That's why I'll say that's why I think he did that was kind of dumb. Living in a blue state or blue city where people could walk up on your thing like from 10 feet just off the sidewalk to your doorstep. I'm like, hey, yo, don't let people, if you're going to be saying crazy stuff on the internet, don't be living like easy and being easily accessible. And especially he been doxxed before, so you already know people have his address. And just because the tolerant left don't like what you say, they're going to come after you. So do you think that Nick Fuentes should have just waited for them to actually get in the house to do something? Like, do you really think that makes sense for them to like, she's not doing anything, I'm gonna just let her like ring my doorbell, like mess with me? They're probably saying, oh, let's ring the doorbell, see if he's home. If he's not home, they probably go in there and wait for him to come home. That's stuff that could happen that people don't want to think about, especially when you're a polarizing figure like Nick Fuentes. Like, come on. In her own GoFundMe page, it talks about a woman who drove up to see where the notorious anti-Semite lived and talked to that lady and told her to go ring on the doorbell, go see if he's there. Like, so there's more than one individual there, and they were there just looking around his property. Why would they be doing that? Like, these are the same people that when the shooter missed Donald Trump, they got like, oh, you don't miss when you do that. And these are the same people that was cheering and going crazy for that daggone the CEO that got unalived. So you expect me to believe, oh, these are the tolerant left, is actually tolerant, is actually decent people? No, these people are crazy, and when they do stuff like that, you don't just tolerate it. You gotta do something about it. And to be honest, who's to say that she only rang her doorbell that one time and she wasn't going back and forth to do something else? Like, he saw her, he was able to open the door and do something before she rang the doorbell. So to say that, yo, she just did it, like, he probably saw her doing other stuff on his property. And I'm like, when do you do something about someone being on your property or doing something to your house or trying to like mess with you and stuff like that? When do you do something? When they actually get into your house and present you a threat? Is that when you do something to them? Like, come on now, that seems kind of dumb. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell Nick again, living in a blue state, and you want to offend yourself, you're gonna be kind of like stuck. You're gonna be shooed when you try to do it. I'm just saying. Most people could defend someone they like when they know they're not guilty. Some people could defend someone they like when they know they are guilty. But can you defend someone that you don't like when you don't know if they're guilty or innocent? Especially when they say things like this.
I didn't do nothing wrong. I a good boy. I ain't do nothing wrong. On the honor roll. I was getting my life back together. I was on the honor roll. I was the top of my class.
Most people could defend someone they like when they know they're not guilty. Some people could defend someone they like when they know they are guilty. But can you defend someone you don't like when you don't know if they're guilty or innocent because you don't know how the law actually plays in the situation? Because I don't really think it's about Nick Fuentes. I think it becomes more about freedom of speech. And can you be safe in your own house without someone coming after you for something you said? I think it's more about self-defense, because you're in your own house. When should you be able to defend yourself? When they actually break in, if someone's casing your property around there doing something sneaky and being suspicious, are you able to defend yourself? Like, y'all all say, oh, he's wrong and he's guilty, blah, blah, blah. But what about when you're on the other side? How are you going to change? Like, what about when it's you they're coming after? What are you going to say then?
Living in LA, I mean, there's homeless people everywhere, right? So I've never had problems. I didn't think anything of it. But as I was bending down to pick up my dog's mess, one of the guys like grabs me by my hips, and he had an erection. Oh God. And just starts like humping me. I opened up about this on the show, not really thinking much of it. And before I know it, I'm starting to get these messages, and it's like really, really harsh stuff. And it's about how you are painting a picture of the homeless community. You know, how could you be like this? You know, these are your unhoused neighbors and they need help. A few people accused me of being racist when I had never disclosed the race of the individuals who did this to me. And in fact, they were white. And so.
See? This is how the left act. The left will eat their own. Like, if you don't fall in line and say what they want you to say or think how they want you to think, they're going to come after you too, like they came after Anna. So I'm just saying, like, what about when it's you? What do you do then? And this made her have a whole change of heart and stop being such a leftist and become more in the center. And probably sooner or later, she's going to be wearing that MAGA cap. I'm just saying. I know some of y'all saying not everybody deserves freedom of speech. Freedom of speech should have limitations on it, or you can have freedom of speech, but you can't have freedom of consequences. I got a question. Who determines when your speech should get some consequences, like someone coming to your house or something bad happening to you? Who determines, oh, like this person to say something wrong and this shouldn't be allowed? Do we just let the leftist mob determine? Because if it turned on Anna, you don't think it will turn on you? Like, I feel everyone should be allowed to say whatever they want. And if you don't like what someone's saying, don't listen to it. And if someone's being super racist, like, let them be racist. Let them be racist out in the open. Let people challenge your ideas. Because when you try to say, oh yeah, you can't be in the public with that type of stuff, they go into their little groups and it becomes daggone more extremist and they become more radical. That's what happened. So if you let everyone out in the open, and that one kid that would actually read that stuff from that group, he would not just read the stuff from that group that's racist. He'll read stuff that opposes that, and he'll say, wait a minute, maybe the ideas and stuff that I believe in might be wrong. And that's why I believe we should all have freedom of speech, and we shouldn't be putting that much limitation on it, if any, to be honest. I don't know, we should be able to say whatever the fuck we want to say, and people can't be trying to do something bringing harm to us because we said something, because you all said something that someone found offensive, and you wouldn't want someone to harm you because you said it. Like, come on now. Like, we gotta be daggone, we gotta be real about this at this point. And if y'all agree with me, let me know. If y'all disagree with me, let me know. Because if you're on the left and you're listening to this, what about when it's you? Do you think you'll always be on the side of that's right? Or you think one day you're gonna have the daggone waking up like Anna did and realize that, yo, the people that I surround myself with, they're kind of crazy. Like, the left is not like that good. The left and the right are just equally bad. Maybe I shouldn't be putting my loyalty to one particular group of people or one particular organization and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, real quick, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe, help me out with the algorithm. Come on now. And if you have any critiques, I'm willing to take them. I'm trying to get better. And hey, yo, I'm out.
And we're out of here like a screaming herd of turtles.